Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 thriller film Paradise Cove. Now this film was directed by Martin Gugwai and it stars Todd Grinnell, Mena Suvari and Kristen Bauer Van Straten. Now this is a thriller film very much in the same vein as Pacific Heights, if you remember that film, the Michael Keaton, Matthew Modine film back in the day. And it tells the story of a married couple who moved to a Malibu beach house that was owned by the husband's mother. The husband's called Knox, his wife is called Tracy. It has got some fire damage, so basically he's a contractor, he does it for a living, so they're going to move in, flip the Malibu beach house and then move on. However, they have an uninvited guest living underneath the beach house. Bree, played by Kristen Bauer Van Straten, who has no intention of leaving and has got a personal connection to this house, and their dislike of each other and her commitment to pursuing this house continues to escalate and gets progressively dangerous as the film goes on. Now, what are my thoughts on Paradise Cove? Well, I think for those of you that are out there that are quite happy to sit back and watch a fairly bog standard thriller film, you're probably going to quite enjoy this one. It's got some tense moments in it. It's got some tropes that you'll recognise. They've got a family dog, a pet dog. So what usually happens, to pets in films like this? You've got the attractive woman living under the house who's homeless. It gives you an opportunity to have a couple of provocative scenes here and there, that sort of thing. You've got this married couple who are struggling financially, and also she's trying for a baby, so you've got a few tropes you'll play with there. You've got contractors that want the money for the house to be built, so they're struggling. Again, it delves so deeply into all these tropes, it'll all feel quite familiar to you, really. It's got fine acting throughout. I mean, you've got Mena Suvari, who you'll recognise from the American Pie films and American Beauty, I think she was in. There's some talent there, and everybody else on display here, certainly the main cast members, do a good job, and they all commit to their roles and make the film certainly very, very watchable. The problem with this film, certainly from my perspective, was it was just too generic for me. It didn't offer any real surprises, and there are many plot holes, in the sense of you literally could drive a bus through many of them, and I'll give you a couple of examples just to let you in on some of the things you might expect if you're going to watch this film. Now, Bree, the homeless woman who's living under the house, keeps getting into the house, and they know she keeps getting into the house because there's a couple of pivotal scenes in the film where they know she is or has been in the house, yet they do nothing about investigating how's she getting in the house. And he's a contractor. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm rubbish at DIY and things like that. I might struggle to find where she's coming into the house. He should have no bother at all knowing how she's getting into the house, but that's never looked into by him or the people he's contracting to do the work on the beach house, which I just thought was ridiculous, especially when they've realised that she's actually quite dangerous, this person. There's also another scene where she gets arrested, bearing in mind she's homeless. And then the very next morning she makes bail. Well, how does she make bail? She hasn't got any money. Who's gonna do that? Who's gonna make bail? How's she gonna manage that with any financial backing behind her? I don't see as that is in the real world, because she's homeless and she's put behind bars. Social workers are coming, and the rest would be history. You know what I mean? She'd be placed somewhere, I would imagine. So it stretches the believability factor an awful lot, this film, and there are a number of scenes that will irk you or frustrate you, and get you kind of there's another scene as well where one of the contractors that's working on the beach house is pushed off working on the side of the building, It doesn't look that big a fall, but even if it is a reasonably big, let's say it's 15 feet, and I'm probably, being generous there, he's pushed off the side of this beach hut onto sand, and then the camera then shifts to him with this huge wound on his head and unconscious and and in very, very serious trouble. And then there are a number of scenes where she manages to overpower people to twice her size, if you like, as well. So it does stretch the believability factor a lot. But if you're willing to put those things to one side, again, there is a reasonably tense film underneath all this that does allow you some investment into the characters. I thought the characters, Knox and Tracy, the married couple, I thought their chemistry was good. I believed them as a married couple, and I bought into their story, their financial situation, and you did feel some sympathy for them because they're trying for a baby and with no success and all that kind of stuff. So I thought they were well written. I didn't mind them at all. The Bree character underneath, I thought was done okay. I think they could have maybe ramped up the maybe the psychopathic side of her a little bit more. She was a little bit too calm for me in some situations. But it's decent enough, this one. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Straight down the middle with this one. It's watchable, but there are a lot of things in it that will certainly frustrate you, as they did me. So that is my review for Paradise Cove. I hope you liked it. I hope you found the review useful. And of course, I will be back with more reviews and content on Screen Stars very, very soon.